Good evening, race fans. Welcome to the Core Racing Network. Tonight we are here in Germany at the Hockenheimring, and this is a test of drivers here for sure. It's not one that too many drivers are keen to. It's not one that gets raced that often, so we'll see how these drivers can handle it out here. I'm certain that we got plenty of talent out here that they'll figure it out one way or another. But it's one where really the tricky section is going into the kind of the stadium type section that you're seeing right now, and you got some runoff, you got some kitty litter on the outside, you even have a little bank turn right there that you're going through. But it's really the most technical part of the track, in my opinion, and where you can gain or lose a lot of time, other than pit road as usual. Carl Hamworth joining the booth by Jimmy Covert. Jimmy, here at Hockenheim once again. It's a fun little track, but turn one can get you off guard right away.
Yeah, my last time here, I was driving the LMP2 and got in a wreck. So yeah, I can catch you off guard, and no fault of my own. Obviously, just somebody getting loose and just losing it, and then just trying to gather it up. But when you're all grouped like that, sometimes it just doesn't go your way. So I even included a fellow league mate going over airborne upside down over my car. Yeah, it was a treat, but you get in there, you get your fast repaired, you come back out and you do what you can. But that was me, and tonight is not me. It's all about CSRL here. They have 29 drivers on the docket right now. Craig Jancic leading the provisional poll here, so getting ready to obviously finish up here as they're coming down or winding down with time here. But looking forward to seeing what these drivers can do here tonight, and I do see at least one new face here tonight.
Yeah, while we wait for them to finish up their qualifying, Jimmy, why don't we take a look at the moment of the race from last week? We were at Indianapolis, and we had quite a little barn burner between four different drivers battling inside the top 10 with Frank Pisano, Dave Tilford, Alain Below, and Cesar Colon Torres. Just, I mean, an epic dogfight all the way through the second half of the track.
Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and I'll bring that up right now. Let me empty this out real quick. And then I'm hitting play now. And here's the battle between those four as they go around the track. And they're just, I was watching this obviously last week, and it was just back and forth. A great battle between these drivers.
Yeah, and it started with the second half of the track when you see that the passing starting, but it didn't finish until they completed basically a full lap from there till they started spreading out a little bit. But yeah, I mean, eventually it got settled down. But great battle there for the four of them. Hopefully, we see that kind of battling out here tonight at the Hockenheimring. And you take a look at the blimp view right now, and you're taking a look at the Porsche course on the infield there. That is actually, some layouts are available on iRacing, and we've even taken the Legends cars at one point to the infield here at Hockenheim, and it's interesting. And some of the corners, something like that. Yeah. I think we actually did a head-to-head heat racing as well through it was the Porsche Experience Center, and they have four different layouts. But it's interesting to say the least, the different layouts that you can do. But we're not doing that one right now. We're doing the big old Grand Prix version, and I guess I really shouldn't say the big old Grand Prix version, because this isn't the original layout. The original layout was a lot bigger. Didn't have the parabolic. It was just a long backstretch and almost kind of akin to Le Mans. But we got the trimmed down version as they run today in most of the GP and occasionally the F1 calendar. But we got our lineup here for tonight. That's more important right now. So Jimmy, why don't you go ahead and give us a rundown of tonight's starting order?
Yeah, a quick rundown of tonight's order. It's going to be Craig Jancic on the pole here tonight with Noah Bourgeois. On the alongside, Chris Hamilton and Herb Pineda make up row number 2. Dom Ford and Mason Smith make up row number 3. Avi Sierra and Kyle Cobbler back there in row number 4. Frank Pisano and Christian Ortiz Torres will make up row number 5. Back to the field for row number 6 is going to be Stephen McLean and Simon Seguin, and then Dave Tilford and Cesar Colon Torres in row number 7. Trent Blaylock and 15th with Jack Oldenburg in 16th. Jim Dutton, William Burrell back there in 17th and 18th. Glenn Lazan and Todd Torville in 19th and 20th. Brandon Potts, Ian Wilson. Then John Espada, Jay Little, Paul Bailey, Michael Ray Gallen, Rana Dilemma, Zane Bierman, and Tyler Torville to round out your 29 car field.
So before we get rolling here tonight, we'll take a look at the point standings here, and starting off in the top class in the platinum, it is Noah Bourgeois, the leader in the class by 9 points over Craig Jancic, and then a pretty big gap till you get back to Chris Hamilton, as he is 37 points behind Craig Jancic. And then Bryce Reiner, Jason Phillips rounding out your top five. So Tyler Torville, still waiting to see him kind of put it all together here. He's in sixth in the platinum, but certainly it's a different world up here in the platinum for this season. In the gold, it is Kyle Cobbler leading the way by 31.5 points, as we got a few drivers with half points in the gold. Cesar Colon Torres in second, Christian Ortiz Torres, Herbert Pineda, and Glenn Lazan. Actually, Glenn Lazan and Jim Dutton tied for fifth place in the gold. In the silver, it is Elaine Barlow leading by 36 points over Trent Blaylock, John Espada, William Burrell, and Todd Torville for your top five in the silver. Simon Seguin is the highest pointing rookie right now. We'll see if he gets graduated into one of these classes here pretty soon. I would think probably after this race, maybe one more before he has enough under the belt that they can make a good decision which division he is going to be placed in. David Wells, Ken Huber, and Byron Bailey, Jesse Mosley for your top five in the rookie. But heading through the final corners here, the pace car will be in. We're set for 45 minutes here of racing for the CSRL GT3 series. This is season number 14, race number 6. This will take us right about to the halfway point of the season, just a little bit over. But the green flag, she is waving, and we are racing here at Hockenheim. Tricky turn number 1. Will everybody make it through?
As they go too wide here, it's pretty tricky, but it looks like everybody giving some room here. Oh, nope, we got an incident in the back there, and we'll catch that up with that. It looks like Javi Sierra and who else is that? Maybe Zane Bierman?
Wayne Burrell, Ian Wilson. A few of them caught up in this one. But Bourgeois makes the pass on the outside through turn 1. He hung it out there, stayed out on the outside of Jancic, and made Jancic back off. So Bourgeois, your points leader, goes from second to first on the first lap here. It looks like Mason Smith involved in this one as well, had to jump to the pits. So that's a big hurt there for Mason. But meanwhile, coming out of the parabolica, out of the hairpin, Bourgeois goes back to second and was threatening there to go back to third, as Chris Hamilton right up there with them as well. 3-car breakaway at the front. But Jancic now to the point in his Mustang. Bourgeois, second place Mustang. Then you got Chris Hamilton in third. Kyle Cobbler, Dom Ford for your top five. But it's already been racy here in the first couple of laps. Kyle Cobbler is your leader there in the gold division. And your leader in the silver right now, Todd Torville in 15th.
And a little tough break for some of these drivers getting started off, as a lot of technical corners through here, Carl, and need to just be careful, and especially when racing side by side to get things started off here. But now that we've gotten lap 1 in the books here, it is Craig Jancic out front over Noah Bourgeois and Christopher Hamilton for your top 3. Kyle Cobbler in 4th with Dom Ford in 5th. We'll go back and check out some first lap action here as they continue their journey here. I gotta go back up here because there's a bunch here. We'll try to catch up with what happened here. Let's go. I think this is right here where it happened. Yep. Big turmoil there.
It's a 979.
Yeah.
Of Javi Sierra spun around, and looks like the 3 of Trent Blaylock, heavy damage. He had to tow back to the pits. Not sure where Mason Smith got involved. I didn't see the 6. I didn't actually see where Mason Smith started out there in 6th, but I didn't see what happened. Oh, right here, the 6. And then right there, you get a shot from behind as well as the 99 Herbert Pineda backs it up off the track.
We'll focus on Mason.
Yeah, a little bump to the front, and I think right there might have already damaged him. Might have already given him a meatball and had to tow it back to the pit. So it's going to be a long day for the 6 because he wasn't able to drive it back. You see that thing is crabbing, and he decided to stop it and bring it back.
And farther down here, this is Jim Dutton a little bit farther in the track here. Let's see what happened to Jim. Oh, he's got damage.
He's already got damage. He's already, yeah. I think he's already sitting down there.
Let me see where. Herbert Pineda.
And he already had damage from the spin out with the contact with Mason Smith.
Okay.
It's a little off track right there.
Just an off track. Who's else? Glenn Lazon. Trying to, this is lap 2, so this is after. Trying to catch up all the incidents here, just see what happened. Just
heading into the parabolica, just got the corner a little bit wrong. Oh, big impact there from the 81. I believe that was John Espada.
Yeah,
as there was really nothing that the 69 there, Glenn Lazon, could do. Is sideways enough, but it was at the point where he was close enough that he could have maybe saved it. The car just would not rotate back straight for him, and unfortunately, heavy impact.
Ooh,
69.
Something just happened to Dave Tilford here. Lap 3.
And this is heading down through the parabolica as well. Down into the hairpin. And maybe just going a little bit wide here out of the corner.
Okay.
Yeah, the hairpin, for some reason, at Hockenheim is one of those places that SDK loves calling an incident or crash because they go so slow through that section. But back here live now, looking at your leaders, it is Craig Jancic in the lead by about 3/4 of a second. Nora Bourgeois still in second. Chris Hamilton, Dom Ford, and Kyle Cobbler for your top 5. So Cobbler still leading in the gold division. He's got about a 1-second lead over Stephen McLean. And then down in the silver, it's now William Burrell in 14th overall. He's leading over Todd Torville by, trying to see, it looks like about 3 seconds right now. Got a couple cars in between with Tyler Torville and Renan Dilemma in between them. But all in all, I mean, it's as expected here at Hockenheim. That first corner can really bite you. It's a quick little, it's a little bit more than a kink. I wouldn't consider it a kink because you're certainly not going full speed through there. You catch the curb wrong on the inside, you catch the curb wrong on the outside, it's going to get you. You want to take it as fast as possible, but it's so tough getting through there, especially on those cold tires and on the first couple laps. And then down here at the hairpin is the other kind of corner where you got to dive it in there. It's certainly a passing opportunity. There's not that many passing opportunities here at Hockenheim. It's not that wide of a track, even though it looks like it. Once you're at high speed, the track flows so much that unless you kind of make a late move and a late dive to the inside of somebody, it's tough to really get passing done here. But it's certainly nice and racy here early on for CSRL.
Yeah, it's nice and racy. This track has always put on some pretty good racing. Obviously, it's technical, it's fast, and there are some areas where you have to really get in the brakes and get that corner turned. And it's the drivers kind of pushing the limits of the brakes, the tires, the car, whatever it is to try to make that pass, make up time. But right now, some good battle on throughout the field here. We're back here with like Frank Bassano. Looks like he's bringing it in the pits the moment here. Yeah, bringing it in here early, maybe just to get some repairs done, get that fuel, get it done, get it knocked out of the way.
I think it might just be kind of going off strategy here and trying to do something different, getting in here early, trying to get back out in some clean air and not have to worry about things. Looks like Ian Wilson may have an issue here. But, yeah, it might just be kind of going off a little bit. Oh, you see it way in the back there. That was Ian Wilson off and into the wall out of the final corner.
So much happening.
Looks like just a little bit of the curb on the inside, a little extra rotation, and then the Rothmans McLaren at number 58 hard into the inside wall there, but don't like it really did too much damage. And the fact that he hit it nose first instead of one of the wheels going in there, maybe a chance that he could drive away from that. But battle down the backstretch here, side by side. Cesar Cologne Torres not wanting to give an inch. But this is a heck of a battle, and it looks like Seguin is going to make the pass here, gets the elbows out here a little bit. Now it's going to leave an opportunity for Dave Tilford to try and get up here in the mix in his Porsche. Going to fall in line behind Simon for the time being. Now looks to the outside. Yeah, I know it's not easy to pass here. It doesn't mean you can't get the elbows out and make a move if you want to. Late dive here into the bank turn here. And Dave Tilford going to pick up a spot here, move himself now up into 8th position here, fourth in line here for the Platinum Division.
Yeah, just kind of moving through the field here, trying to get a good race here. Dave had some pretty decent times during practice. Chris Hamilton was on top there for quite some time. But we know Craig Jancic and Noah Bourgeois obviously putting in some great lap times to the previous races, and they're up here battling yet again. Craig trying to walk away though, as these two try to chase him down.
Yeah, interesting to see Bourgeois. We've seen kind of Jekyll and Hyde this season. He's either lightning fast that he walks the field, including Craig Jancic at the front, and then we've seen the opposite at Le Mans, where he just doesn't have it, and nothing falls his way, and finishes back half of the top 10 at best. But here, kind of maybe we're seeing the middle road here, as he's currently 1 second behind Jancic. Maybe he's got a different game in mind here tonight, whether it be fuel strategy, tire strategy, what have you. But just kind of hanging there, keeping Craig Jancic within tow there. He's got a 1 second gap in between him and Craig, and then behind him, Chris Hamilton trying to stay in the mix here as well, only 3/4 of a second back, but it is definitely a 3-car breakaway at the front. They got 6 seconds from Jancic back to Dom Ford in 4th place right now, and then another 2 seconds back to Kyle Cobbler, your Gold Division leader.
Yeah, plenty of racing on the track, but everybody a little spaced out. Simon is and Dave are pretty much the closest ones together here at the moment. Also back here, and this is for P8 and 9, but back here in 13 and 14, another battle obviously ensuing here around the track each and every time here. So just close racing throughout, but everybody trying to settle in, as we're now 10 minutes in. Still got about 35 minutes. You did see a few come in maybe early, maybe to mix things up here just a little bit. There's the Tyler Torville came in and got that knocked out and finished up, and trying to get things done. Everybody's starting to spread out though on the track, as you can see all the colorful Skittles out there making their way around the track. So
coming down to car count, or not car count, car selection here for Hockenheim, and I kind of wonder where you would fall, Jimmy. I know it's certainly been a lot of front engine heavy this entire season. It seems like all the front engine cars are pretty meta right now, but all things considered, as you see right there, it's like Jim Dutton, Steve McLean, and getting involved in an incident, and William Burrell as well. But at a track like this, do you want something that is geared towards being fast and figure out your way through the corners here, or do you want one that's a little bit more pointy and one that you can rotate? I mean, not that much, but as Steve McLean goes through there. But yeah, I mean, do you want one that kind of rotates, because it's a lot of sections here that you got to get through nice and flowy, especially through that stadium section.
I mean, as long I want a car that's gonna, like, depending on the set, not all this. CSRL uses the fixed setup, I believe, from iRacing, and so not all cars handle the curbs the same when you're in them. I prefer the McLaren a lot of times, just because I'm so used to driving it, and it does have its quirks. If you have to get in the throttle and hit the higher RPMs, like coming out of a corner, you can find yourself the rear end coming around, just being a little spicy. It definitely has a nice cornering aspect to it. It is quick, but it just has some areas you just got to be careful. It doesn't care for the curbs too much, but it's not too bad. Like maybe the Audi or something like that. But Porsche, or not the Porsche, but the Mustang seems to eat curbs pretty easily. And the front engine meta that we see going on this season for iRacing, they seem to be a pretty decent car. As you see a bunch of people out there driving them, along with the McLaren. So, and I'm wondering if that's because of the new car, the new upcomer, the Aston Martin. Not many out here tonight, only 2 with Cesar Colon Torres and Glenn Lazan. Oh, and Mason Smith, but Mason Smith got involved early. So definitely the front engines there. You see right there is the 82, hopped that curb and just kept on going without really breaking loose. So it's just kind of a give and take. You're just where maybe you feel weak on the track and just making sure the car is the best there for yourself. And then hopefully you can, make up for it in the rest of the track, where that it's real simple for your. But I probably lean to a car that could take the curbs. So Mustang was pretty good. I didn't get a chance to get any laps in. I did load in with the Corvette, as it's been a choice between a bunch of drivers here as of lately, but not tonight, as the only one out there is Javi Sierra, and ended up getting involved in an incident. So Javier try in the back of the pack at the moment, trying to make things up here as the race goes on. Currently 13 minutes in, so still got about 31 minutes remaining. Craig Jensic is out front with Noah Bourgeois, and the interval is tightening up between those front 3, by the way. I'll go back and take a look.
Yeah, you mentioned the Aston Martin, and it baffles me week in and week out. And well, we're going to talk about it again here because, like you said, only 3 guys out here running the Aston Martin here tonight. I mean, have you seen a car in recent memory come out that is just not bought into by all the drivers out here? I mean, more often than not, when a new car comes out, it's the car you absolutely want to be in. I think when the Mustang first came out, it just sounded too damn good not to want to drive it. It wasn't maybe the greatest at the time handling wise, and same thing with the Corvette. The Corvette just looked good, but it wasn't good, and that's why you didn't see it out there that often. For the Aston, I haven't had that much time out there myself. Is there a track that it maybe fits the Aston? Is it just it lacks performance compared to the other cars out here? Because week in and week out now, I mean, the Aston didn't come out that long ago, and it's not popular at all.
I mean, I don't know. I mean, I think some people are driving because they like the look of it or something. I think it fits in there. I think it's an average car. I did get a little bit of time in it, but that was at the new track over there in Mexico, so probably wasn't the best place to test drive a brand new car on a track that I didn't know at all, to really kind of get a handle of it. But it felt okay, and it kind of drove, to me, it was almost driving like a Mustang. So, but like I said, I only got about 10 or 15 laps in it, so I can't compare it. I would have to take it somewhere where that I'm very familiar with, somewhere like Daytona or Bathurst, or even it sounds weird, but even the Nürburgring. I got so many hundreds, if not thousands, of laps at the Nürburgring for all the testing that I've done to drive there, and it'd probably be a great place to take it to see how it handles, especially with the general setup. And that track there is more survival than anything. You just gotta get the car kind of where it's not wants to break loose on you, but it's also fast down the straightaway. So I don't know, Carl. It's a new car. I bought it, just haven't had a chance to drive it. So, the time behind the wheel is not very high at the moment for myself. I've been full steam ahead here at CRN, and maybe in a season or two, maybe another year or so, maybe I'll back off just maybe a league or two, and then maybe get back in the car and give myself the opportunity to get back out there racing with some of these drivers that we've been watching now for quite a few seasons. But right now, it's it's not about us. It's not about the drivers out on the track. It's Craig Jensic out in the lead over Noah Bourgeois and Chris Hamilton for your top 3. We're 17 minutes in, so I'm thinking maybe pit stops in the next 10 to 15 minutes, and then we'll see the rest of this race finish out.
Yeah, I mean, almost 20 minutes into this race and still about a second and a half, even less than that, separating the top three right now. And they've definitely been the class of the field here as right now, Greg Jancic up by about 0.7 of a second on Noah Bourgeois, and then another 0.7 of a second back to Chris Hamilton. Seeing a good battle back here. Back half of the top 10, just outside of it, with Brandon Potts at Renan Dilemma here in 10th and 11th. But I want to thank everyone out there for tuning in tonight. If you haven't, so we hit that thumbs up, like and subscribe. Really helps out the channel. I know I'm a broken record. It seems like every race that I say it, but it really it helps get the get these videos up there in the YouTube algorithm for anybody that's looking out there. Maybe they're just looking for something to watch. Maybe they're looking for another league to get into, and they kind of want to scout it a little bit. The more thumbs up that it is, the better chance it finishes higher up on the search results for anyone looking for GT3s or Hockenheim or what have you. So you guys out there in the Sierra Nation certainly help as much as these drivers do, putting on a good show. And that's what they're doing right now. Things have settled down here a little bit. Had some pit stops already. Maybe a third of the field so far coming in and making their pit stops. But I would assume pit road's probably going to get busy within these next couple laps.
Yeah, I would imagine, not too far off, maybe not by the leaders. Obviously, we know the cars typically they go a little faster when you start losing that fuel, and the tires seem to dial in as the race goes on. Unlike the ovals, Carl, where the tires are nice and crisp from the get-go, and then they just fade away. For the GT cars, it's almost like the other way around. They're pretty dookie because you got to get them heated up. But once you get them dialed in, it's almost like you don't want to take them off. With the exception if you go back out there with a full tank, iRacing starts yelling at you that your tires are so degraded, and then it starts handling like poo. So you have to get them changed and start that process all over again. But the faster part of your laps is typically at the end of the fuel tank.
Yeah, it's I don't know if it's like the tire compounds are harder, that they kind of last longer in terms of grip, because it's almost like the tires are decent to start off with, looks like Ian Wilson spinning around out of the hairpin. But yeah, they're decent to start off with, but they kind of hold essentially the same grip the entire length of the fuel run, and obviously the lighter the car, the faster you're going to go. So you're just not necessarily gaining grip at the end of the run. You're faster because the car is lighter. But it seems like for the most part it kind of holds neutral for the entire run, and you absolutely cannot say that about ovals. You're good for maybe 10-15 laps depending on the track that you're at, and then like you said, you're dookie kind of from there on out. But looks like another issue there for the 25. Not sure what happened there to Brandon Potts. I don't see any spin. Maybe a slowdown. I've seen a couple drivers right here with a slowdown. Yeah, not sure what happened. No, he just pulled off to the side. So I'm not sure if he had to serve a slowdown, but either way, he gets back going here. Looks like Zane Bierman may have had an issue here going off track, and now he had to jump into the pits.
Oh, that's usually not a good sign.
No, I think it's more than just a slowdown for the hairpin. We'll take a look at what happened to Bierman here. Ooh, and turn one, a little too hot. Saves it, but then noses it in and decided to just tow back to pit lane from there. We had enough of the Ford Mustang here tonight, but not having enough of the Ford Mustang is Craig Jancic at the front. Noah Bourgeois still in second. Chris Hamilton, Dom Ford, Kyle Cobbler for your top five. Cesar Colon Torres, Dave Tilford, Herbert Pineda, Renan Dilemma, and William Burrell for your top 10. So now your top driving silver division leader right now is William Burrell. He is in the top 10. I know we had maybe about half of the field, well, still probably about a third of the field that came into the pit so far. Still waiting to see the other roughly 20 make their pit stop, and got a battle down the front stretch. That looks like going to fall back in line here is Jack Olenberg, but good battling here on the front stretch. Not really seeing anything yet from Tyler Torville. I know he made an early pit stop here, but kind of wondering when when he's going to break through and find a track that he really enjoys. Because last season, I know he was in the gold, but he was up there battling inside the top 5. It seemed like weekly, and really, I was looking forward to seeing how he would keep progressing and seeing what would happen in the platinum. But I'm not sure if he just is putting too much pressure on him, or things just aren't working out for him so far this season. But right now, he is 4th in the platinum running, and pretty far back, 17th right now. But he did make his pit stop already, so see where he fares once everything shakes out with the pit stops.
Yeah, and you always question why they come in early, and obviously if he can make it through the field fairly quickly, and maybe have some more easier passing, he'll make up a lot of spots. Obviously, when people come in, you think. I'm holding them probably within the top 10, if not like up in 6th or 7th after everybody comes in, depending on the pit stops. If I'm looking up about 40 seconds or so, that would put them right up around 5th place. So we'll see if that pays off here. I'm not quite sure if that's the pit time. Well, how long was this pit stop? Where's he at? 35 seconds, but he didn't have to take nearly as much fuel as somebody else. So seeing somebody, it's like Frank Pisano, or who was that? I think it is. Yeah, Frank Pisano was in for 42 seconds. So if I look up 42 seconds from Tyler, it puts him right around 5th place if those drivers come in for 42 seconds for their pit stop. So we'll see if he can make it any further up. And maybe put some pressure on Dominique Ford, or even up as far as Chris Hamilton. Oh no. We'll see what happened to William Burrell here. He was leading and
talked about him a little bit too much. Okay. I mean, he's got plenty of room in that grass there to get it turned back around. He is going to lose. You see right there, Todd Torville going by. That is now your new leader in the silver in 11th place. William Burrell going to fall back to 12th, but he is 4 seconds back right now. He's got plenty of race left to go. Still got really the second half of the race to get it back rolling here. But you're seeing right there, Jay Little had a little bit of an incident. Spinning out here is we'll get you back live, and looks like Craig Jancic. Back half of this run, maybe he's done saving fuel at this point. Trying to check it out. Maybe it's Noah Bourgeois trying to save a little bit of fuel. Either way, it's now a 1.5 second lead between Jancic and Bourgeois. Still about 7 cents of a second between Bourgeois and Hamilton. And you start to wonder, I start to question, it's getting close to the pit stops, which is the kryptonite for Hamilton. Can he nail the pit stops? Can he get the right amount of fuel in that Mercedes? Can he stick with this field for the second half of the race? Because it's really been his bugaboo throughout his CSRL career. I mean, I not calling a driver out or anything like that, but we've known Chris for long enough that we know he's got speed. We know you can put him in just about anything, and he's going to be up there towards the front. But the pit stops have just, and really, when it comes down to it, it's the fuel. The fuel has killed Chris for a lot of his CSRL career here, and took him out of a lot of chances of not only wins, but sometimes podiums, sometimes just any kind of chance at a championship. So can he nail the pit stop here tonight? He's starting to drift back right now a little bit. It's back to a little bit over 1 second, 1.2 right now to Bourgeois, but he's got to be able to hang with these Mustangs after the pit stop.
Yeah, he's got to be able to. Hopefully, he's not using more fuel, or he can take less. Maybe there's something that he can make up that 2 seconds to be able to. Because right now he's 2.7 seconds back from Craig Jancic. So that's a lot to make up on Craig in the pits. So Craig would have to make a mistake. He would have to, make a mistake in order and then Chris would have to nail everything, A++ for pit stop. So there's a lot there. Obviously, it's kind of one of those things I think as of right now, as a driver, also you're trying to catch them and just try to do your best to keep up with Noah and Craig. But we've seen Noah, he's been up and down think tonight here, maybe not as good as some of the other tracks, but still having a good race. Being able to race up there is keeping in within a second and a half back from Craig Jancic. But yeah, a lot of good talent on the track, and a lot of good racing at the moment. Everybody, we do have some pit stops going on here. William Burrell in, Paul Bailey, Michael Ray Gollin. So a bunch of drivers coming in to get the rest of that fuel here. And that's in that 16, 17 frame, and you can see here comes Tyler Torville.
Now our top three into pit lane: Jancic, Bourgeois, and Hamilton into the pits. You got Dom Ford coming around. We'll see if he comes in this time, but really this could be where the race is won or lost between the 88, the 5, and the 64 as they're in the pits. Looks like Dom Ford going to stay out for another lap here, and maybe going to stretch this thing out. Dave Tilford is going to come in there into the pits as well. Looks like Craig Jancic gonna win the race off of pit road, and by a pretty good margin. Not sure what happened to Noah Bourgeois, but he is still in his pit stall. And Jimmy, I'm wondering if he has this thing set to take full fuel, or if he's got some issues.
I'd be fiddling out, hurried up to check that box off.
Well, I didn't see a penalty for Bourgeois, but the fact that he's still in there makes me think that he may have gotten a penalty coming into pit road, because it's now 50 seconds, 51, 52. I mean, it's a 40-second hold if you get an unsafe entry, and sure enough, he's about 40 seconds longer than his competitors. So we talked about Hamilton, worried about that pit stop. It ends up biting Noah Bourgeois. He falls all the way down to 11th in the running. Hamilton gets in and out, but 4.5 seconds behind Jancic. Jancic takes 14 seconds in his pit stop. Hamilton 15.3, but around 15 is what majority of the drivers have been taken here for the pit stops. The sub 14 second pit time, 13.98, is very, very quick and very little amount of fuel for Jancic. So he's hoping maybe for one less lap here on the track, or maybe he's planning on he want to get out there in front. He can save a little bit of fuel, let them catch up if he needs to. But Dom Ford now gives up the lead, and he's coming in to make his pit stop.
And trying to see where everybody's at. I think Christian Ortiz, Torres, Herbert Pineda. There's Tyler. Tyler's worked up into the top 10 so far.
Bourgeois behind him in 11th place, and about 5 seconds behind him. So, I mean, he was up there battling with Jancic this entire race, and now stuck 5 seconds behind the top 10. And that's how bad a penalty can be on a track that's been pretty good here tonight. But we are in the back half of this race right now, and I think it's time, Jimmy, we'll step aside here for a couple minutes, give everyone out there a chance to listen to all these different engines roar here. Love to hear it.
A little out of here.
Sights and sounds here from the CSRL GT Series. As again, this is round number 6. 11 rounds scheduled for this season, with the season finale being the typical 2-hour season finale. And for this season, it's going to be at track that we talked about earlier, Jimmy, Bathurst. And you want to talk about a scary track to finish the season on, especially when you got double points on the line, you got championships on the line. I mean, I feel like if you want a chance at the championship, I mean, you may be good at Bathurst. It doesn't matter. You could be good, you could be bad, and find the good or the bad at the mountain there. Do you want to make sure you have some kind of points gap to second place? Because I mean that place can eat you up, and it's a fun track. Don't get me wrong, it is fun, but it's, you know, I talk about tracks being Jekyll and Hyde. You certainly have that at Mount Panorama, with the mountain as half the course, very technical, single lane, and then the other half is flat out. But it's mini Nürburgring, if you ask me.
Well, it's the problem with that place, Mount Panorama, is that when you go up over the mountain, typically you're single file. There's very few places that's even remotely slightly comfortable to pass, and that's usually because somebody's letting you by. It's not because you've made a pass. Usually somebody messed up and they hover to one side and you're able to squeak by, but even then the lanes are very tight. And so when you're in an endurance race, you know, you just kind of, as soon as you make that right hand turn to go up the mountain, you just kind of hold your breath, because it's pretty much single file all the way till you get to the last corner where you start heading down, where you get that run to make the turn. So, you know, in the final few parts, so you have to be quick in those areas, and up top you just have to be consistent and pay attention. Just be really aware of you know, who's in front of you, who's behind you, and even if somebody wrecks and you don't even see them in front of you, you can come up over that hill and they're sideways in the middle of the track. So yeah, it's a difficult track, and it can really bite you quick.
Yeah, and when it's biting you on a double points night for the championship, it can be scary for the last one, and especially when you come off of the track right before that, round number 10, Watkins Glen. And I'm not saying Watkins Glen is easy, but when you compare it to the tracks that you have around it, you got coming up here on the schedule, you got Sebring coming up next week. Certainly, I'm sure most of these drivers, if not all of them, have got tons of laps on Sebring, just running the Sebring 12-hour. Interlagos coming up for round number 8. Another track that is, to me, it's a fun track. It's one that's really flowy on the infield, but it's a, you know, a fun kind of flowy. It feels like the car typically sticks pretty well there on the infield, and then you get the long run all the way down from turn 15 to turn 1 there. Suzuka, very tough, very technical track there for majority of it, and then, like I said, you kind of get the breather in round number 10 with Watkins Glen. It's certainly the easiest one other than Sebring on the remaining schedule, and then Bathurst to finish it out. So it is it's an interesting schedule, to say the least, and we'll see the best driver come out on top more likely than not. But the best driver here tonight, no surprise, is Craig Jancic, as he has got a 5 1/4 second lead on Chris Hamilton. Dom Ford now the one in third. Kyle Cobbler is leading the gold division, and he is in 4th overall. Cesar Clone Torres in 5th overall, right there in 2nd. This is definitely not done and dusted, as the 007 Cesar Clone Torres maybe getting a little shot in the arm after the last couple decent races there for him. He's only 0.6 of a second behind the lead, but not going to be too close if he keeps doing that right there. Dave Tilford right there behind him. He is 3rd in the Platinum Division. Wouldn't mind getting past these two and having a chance to move up through the field. Top spot in the silver is back to William Burrell. He was able to get back around Todd Torville after the pit stops and is stretching out his lead. 5-second lead right now for Burrell over Todd Torville. But one thing I'm seeing, Jimmy, leader in the platinum, Ford. Leader in the gold, Ford. Leader in the silver, I'll give you one guess.
Chevy? Yeah, the Ford's obviously being pretty dominant, and like I said, it just the front engine cars. I think a lot of the drivers have maybe they like Fords as well. Besides, wasn't it last year Jim Dutton said he was going to swear off the Ford because he was having issues with it.
Yes. I do remember the unicorn the unicorn paint scheme for him too.
Yep.
Maybe that's what it was. You know, he looked cute, but he didn't race too cute. That's the problem.
Well, you see where he's at now driving the Ford, right?
Yes, exactly.
I wonder if he's going back on. Man, I should have just kept swearing him off like I did, but no, just go out there and tempt fate. Finds out probably not where he wants to be here tonight, but. Right now, everybody's pretty spread out. There's except the battle here with the 007 and the 12 a battle, and it's not for within the division. That's just overall. So I'm sure Dave would like to get by and grab those couple points. It doesn't really. I mean, and I'm sure Caesar would like to stay ahead for those couple extra points as well as Kyle Cobbler out there up front there. Trying to push, I think, maybe a little too hard, and as long as Kyle keeps a steady pace like he's going, he'll be fine. As the 12 and the 007 continue to try to battle out there for Pete, number 5. And then you got another battle back here, a little bit farther. You won't overlook it here. Steve McLean and Jack Oldenburg here. Rana Dilemma and Stephen McLean. As Jack's back just a little bit. I know Jack's out there listening as he stopped by and said, let's have a good race. But, yeah, definitely a good battle there. Then Trent Blaylock, as we've seen up front last season quite often, actually. All the way back here in 22nd. So not having a real good race here at Hockenheim.
Yeah, like I said, I mean, this is a track that it doesn't get used too often, and it's a track that even for the ones that have raced here before, you either like it or you hate it. It's one where I don't know, what type of driver it necessarily suits, if it's just a driver's track one way or another, but it's certainly it's got its little quirks, and Craig Jancic, doesn't matter what track we're on, he's going to find some pace, and he's got it here tonight. Nor Bourgeois still trying to reel in the top 10. He's got it now down to 1.7 seconds, so still a chance yet to get himself a top 10 in this race, but the time is ticking down here as we got only about a minute and a half remaining, so only got a couple more laps left in this race before we crown tonight's winners. And again, it is Jancic leading in the Platinum Division by now 6.6 seconds. In the Gold Division, Kyle Cobbler still leads by less than a second, as Cesar Colon Torres is still right there. In the silver, William Burrell enjoying a 15-second lead over Todd Torville. So barring another mistake by the 21 here tonight, he should have that pretty secured. But all in all, it's kind of as expected. The troublesome spots here at Hockenheim have certainly shown it for some drivers out there. And we've seen some of the quote-unquote better drivers, the ones that are looking to try and run for the championship this season, really make their way to the top. Other than Bourgeois, I can't say it enough. I mean, he came in here as your points leader in the Platinum, and very well may not leave here with the point standings, even though he had a good sizable lead because of a pit road penalty. 40 seconds takes him from racing for the win to trying to just fight his way back to the top 10.
Yeah, it's obviously a shame trying to make that back up, and we know that he's fast, but you can't make simple mistakes like that if you're running for a championship when the competition's so close. And we talked about how Chris Hamilton was able to basically run with Chris Jancic, week in, week out, even lead over Craig Jancic, but lose that lead or fall farther behind by the pit stop. Craig just had a little bit more pace, I think, here tonight over Chris, but so there's even after he came out of the pits, is definitely the time opened up just a little bit more as Chris is trying to finish up here tonight and get another good finish here over the rest of his league mates here. But yeah, it's one thing to go out there and run laps, but you can really lose a lot of positions, especially in this close competition between these drivers just in the pits. White flag. No, finish flag. Is that checker flag?
I'm trying to find out here myself now because I wasn't sure if it was a white flag or not. We're taking a look here at Craig Jancic. Should be white flag this time right here, and should be getting the checkered coming around at this time as Jancic put on the performance that he absolutely needed. He lost the lead after turn number 1, but didn't wait too long. Got it back at the end of Parabolica and into the hairpin, and didn't look back from there. He certainly had Bourgeois and Hamilton nipping at his heels for the first half of this race, but after the pit stop, great pit stop once again for the 88 team. Gets him a sizable lead. He wins this thing by 8.5 seconds over Chris Hamilton. Just coming out of the final corner, he's going to come home in second place here tonight. Looking back though at the gold class, it is still not over here. Less than a second still. You see right there, Kyle Cobbler in the 3 on the car. Looks like a Dale Earnhardt throwback GT there, but 97 on the time and scoring. He is going to have enough. Just got to get through one more corner. He will be your gold class winner here tonight. You see right there behind him, Cesar Colon Torres. Another good finish for him. Comes home in second. Back in the silver division, William Burrell easily going to take the win in the number 21 as he has got a lead's actually fallen down here a little bit on him, but still got a 4-second lead here for the 21, and he's going to be your winner in the silver. Great race for all our winners here tonight, and really for all the drivers. I know some don't mind leaving here, don't mind not wanting to come back here again, and certainly probably looking forward to a track that they're going to be more familiar with at Sebring next week.
Yeah, Sebring definitely more of a favorite. I know amongst these drivers, they're talking about it a couple seasons ago when they were there, and that they obviously compete in the 12-hour event at Sebring, and it's very popular. And the difference between the 12-hour event, though, Carl, and just these drivers going out there running a Sebring for 45 minutes is that it's, multi-car, or not multi-car. But multi-class out there to kind of compete with, and it can really stir things up, whether it's the fast cars bullying their way through, or a slower car pretty much brake checking you in a corner, and you go flying through the grass. So it definitely stirs things up there when it comes to multi-class racing. But so it's going to be the GT3 cars, and it's going to be I think a good one at Sebring. But tonight was a good one here. Close battling throughout. Drivers that looked like the first few laps were kind of a little bit hectic, but it quickly cleaned up as the race went on here, as a few drivers had their issues, and then even some of those issues rolling over into the pit stops, where some people were held up and maybe entering the pit lane a little bit quicker than they should have. But we'll go ahead and run down a quick run of your drivers here for your final results before we talk to anybody here real quick. And obviously your winner here tonight is going to be Craig Jancic, then Christopher Hamilton. Dom Ford will finish in third. Fourth is Kyle Cobbler. Fifth, Cesar Colon Torres. Dave Tilford will finish in sixth. Herbert Pineda in seventh. Christian Torres. Simon's back there in ninth. Tyler Torville in 10th. Let's see. 11th, Noah Bourgeois. Frank Pisano in 12th. Stephen McLean in 13th. Renan Dilemma back in 14th. Jack Oldenburg in 15th. William Burrell in 16th. Todd Torville in 17th. Paul Bailey's in 18th. Michael Ray Galan back there in 19th. Javi Sierra back in 20th. 21st, Jay Little. Trent Blaylock in 22nd. Ian Wilson in 23rd. Glenn Lazon in 24th. John Espada in 25th. Zane Bierman 26th. Brandon Potts in 27th. Jim Dutton in 28th. And Mason Smith calling it here early in 29th.
I want to thank everyone out there for tuning in. If you haven't done so yet, hit that like and subscribe, get you in touch with everything that CRN has to offer. And I want to thank our sponsors as always, and start off with 4D Racewear. They are the makers of the ultimate sim racing shoes and custom apparel designed for sim racing by sim racers. 4D sim racing shoes, custom engineered to connect racers to the pedals in a way no other racing shoe can, while still providing the comfort needed for those double and triple stints. Visit 4dracewear.com and check out the latest sim racing products, including the original racing gloves for your feet. For Martin PC, they are focused on providing high-quality PCs, rigs, and components at an affordable price. Your investment in sim racing is exactly the same as racing with an actual car. They take that same methodology at Martin. From the engine PC to the chassis, rig, pedals, wheels, and shifter, you deserve components that match your desire to compete. I want to thank also Digital Sim Sports for sponsoring the moment of the race, and we'll certainly have to take a look back next week and see what the moment of the race was here. It was a pretty good one, pretty good race out here tonight. I want to thank Ace Motorsports for sponsoring the fastest lap of the race, and just trying to find out who that is right now. Looks like it is going to go to Craig Jancic with 137.622. And then I want to thank Chris Burrell for sponsoring the Hard Charger Sandbagger Award, which is going to go to Tyler Torville here tonight. But let's go ahead and get to our interviews here. Certainly well-deserved interviews here tonight. We're going to go ahead and start with the man that got in the waiting room first. So he gets to go up here first. The winner of the silver class tonight is going to be the 21 of William Burrell. William, yeah, you had a lead here in the silver. It looked like you were good to go. You had a nice little buffer, nice little gap, and then you decided, you know what, this isn't fun enough. Let me go ahead and spin it. Let me go ahead and give Todd Torville a chance to get back up here and give me something to race for in the second half.
Yeah, I definitely hated that. I got to looking behind me, and I looked up, and I did my famous missed my braking point, and then once I got in hot, it just kept on spinning, and I was like, and then whoever went by, there was the slightest amount of contact, but it was able to be fixed in my pit stop that was coming up. But no, it was a good race. I talked with Craig Jancic. I've asked him to give me a heads up on what cars to drive, and I'm trying to get away from the McLaren just all the time and maybe try something new. And I didn't care for it in I think we were in Spain, and I didn't care for it, but actually it felt okay. It's not a bad ride.
Yeah, it certainly seemed to be the car to get in here tonight. Seems to be the car this season. Maybe not for Spain, but I mean here tonight, winner in all three classes is the Ford Mustang. So it seems to be definitely the car here for Hockenheimring. This is a track that you guys don't come to too often, and a lot of drivers don't come to too often. I've said it's kind of one where either you like it or you hate it. Where's it kind of fall for you?
I don't mind it. I think the last time we were here, and even in the other series I race in, I think this has been one that's been wet, and I don't know. I didn't care for it, but no, I like it. Indy last week I did pretty good at, and this one kind of similar. It's not too curvy. I mean, just overall, yeah, it's a good race for me. I like the track.
So obviously a good points night for you here tonight, and you came into the night here with a bit of a gap to get back there to lane below. I don't think he was out there in the field tonight. If he was back far enough that I didn't really take notice to him. But certainly going to be a good points night for you. Do you feel like you're still well within the mix here, getting just past the halfway point in the season?
Yeah, I think I'm doing all right. Still in the silver division, probably next season, maybe move up to gold. But yeah, I feel like I'm getting better and getting more comfortable driving with guys. Still, if I get a leader coming up on me, I think it was Herbert Pineda. Something must happen to him, and I think he came through the field. And it's no sense trying to slow those guys down. They're good, but I try to stay within a second or two from the guys, and I'm good. But I had some knee surgery earlier on in the year, and it's a lot better. I've adjusted my brakes, so that's not quite the issue it used to be. So hopefully it continues. I do feel like every little bit's helping. Again, all the admin guys, Tilford, and really all of them have helped me out. If I've had questions, it's not like I'm a threat to those guys, but I do feel like I'm mid-pack and doing okay.
Get healthy a little bit, get fully healthy, and then we'll see what that 21 can do. But either way, congrats on the win here tonight in the silver class. Who do you want to give a shout out to or thanks to?
I forgot my wife last week, and she puts up with everything I do, and she's a 10 when it comes to supporting all my hobbies. And Carol, thank you very much for letting me do this. As always, my mom, Chris, she's the hard charger sponsor, and she's watching with her friend Sandy. 40 Racewear, they let me on their team, and Jim Herrick, he's been supplying my liveries for me, and the Mustang one's actually pretty slick with the Simcraft in there. And like to also give a shout out to Simcraft and all the guys that watch the race there. I appreciate the rig you guys built for me and the support I get from them. So you guys, Carl, Jimmy, you guys have always been good as well. And Core puts on a good show and opportunity for all my fans out there to watch. So thank you very much.
We certainly appreciate that, and certainly the Burrell fans were out here tonight. I'm sure happy to see that 21 at the top spot. He gave him a little scare mid-race, but you fought your way back and got it done. So congrats on the class win. We'll let you go celebrate. We'll see you next week at Sebring.
Thank you much. Take care, Carl. See you, Jimmy.
Yes, sir.
Hey, too, buddy. That is your silver class winner here tonight, William Burrell in the 21, finishing 16th overall as well. Top spot in the gold class, Jimmy, is going to go to Kyle Cobbler in the 97.
Kyle! It's Jimmy Crawl up in the boot. Copy.
How are we doing?
I'm not too bad. Hey, great race here tonight. Obviously, things started off pretty interesting. Then you kept the charge on and finished this thing off strong for the gold division and taking the win. So give us a little rundown on your how everything went for you. As I see, looking a little bit early on, it did look like you had a little bit of damage to your Mustang.
Oh, yeah. And just to set the record straight right off the rip, it's Kobler, not Cobbler. I'm not a pie.
I like pie.
Yeah, you can say that however you like, but just wanted to get that out there. Now that I'm finally in here, I figure I can get you guys going on the right track. I got into, I think it was Javi and somebody else. I don't know. Somebody spun turn 2, knocked my car out of alignment. My right rear was 238 degrees at one point, which was not supposed to happen, I don't think. So I think I wore it out a little more than it should have been, just trying to keep ahead of Caesar. And at one point, I think McLean was up there too, and I think he lost it coming out of the hairpin or something like that. But other than that, just trying to keep it on the road and getting chased down by Caesar.
Caesar was definitely trying to track you down for sure. So what's one thing about this track that you took from tonight that you'll know for maybe next time if you all come here that maybe you could have done just a little bit better?
Not run into that accident. Probably brake a little easier. And once I started braking a little easier after the car was fixed, I picked up a little pace, just enough to keep it in front of Caesar. So I was thankful that I figured that out. But other than that, just keep it on the road. I think that's the number one thing. So
keep on the road, keep it clean. It sounds like every endurance race that me and Carl go into, like, just gotta keep it clean. But no, great run here tonight. Congratulations on the win here, man. And we'll give you a little bit of time for any shouts you might have on that number 3/97.
Just Noah. He's made me a little bit quicker this season as over last season, and he's fast as hell. So just kind of learning from him, and thanks to the wife and our newborn, they're pretty great. Love them. So that's about it.
Your family's always awesome. So thanks for the awesome shout outs, and then we'll let you go celebrate with your friends and family.
All right, thanks, guys.
Yes, sir.
Is your top spot in the gold class here tonight, the number 97 of Kyle Peach Kobler here tonight as in 4th place overall, and top spot now overall for the race is going to go to Craig Jancic as he puts in another dominating performance here, winning by about 8.5 seconds here. But Craig, you got the pole, so kind of checkbox number 1. And then all of a sudden, turn 1 happened, and Noah would not let you keep that lead. He took you on the outside, but you didn't waste too much time. You're like, nope, this is mine. I'm taking it back.
Yeah. Thank you for your accommodations as well. I'm going to be honest. I kind of expected to lose the lead in turn 1, just because you can push the boundary so far out there when you start on the outside here. I almost think of it as an advantage. And I was kind of expecting that. I wasn't surprised that it happened or anything like that. And throughout my practice this week in running GT fix for Hockenheim, I was able to go a little bit deeper than a lot of people into the hairpin for brakes. It's where I made most of my passes in GT fixed. So I had also known that I was probably going to give that a shot as long as I was within any type of respectable distance. And we were, and it stuck, and I was right. And for once, everything went to plan. And hard to be mad about that. And then, just monitored the gap, monitored the fuel the rest of the race, and kind of just set sail at the one point. It felt really, really good. I felt like I was really locked in.
Well, it's certainly locked in for another pit stop, as well as you had one of the shortest pit stops in the field, a sub 14-second time in your pit lane. So I'm assuming you did plenty of fuel saving in the first half of the race, or was it, let me take a little bit less fuel and I'll figure out a way to save if I need to in the second half?
No, it was definitely option A of those two. I saved really, not really heavy. I saved exactly what I thought I was going to save in the first half of the race. You kind of lift into the hairpin, or you lift into turn 2, you lift into the hairpin, and you could lift a little bit into the 90-degree, like half circle in the stadium there. And if I was doing that and it was giving me a good number, and then I took the perfect amount of fuel I saved about half of the second stint. And then I put down push laps from that point on. And I ended up running out of gas just after a little bit of a burnout session down the back straightaway there. So it was another session where, I hate that Noah got the unsafe entry. That really, I really hate that for him, as a human being, but as a competitor, I couldn't have asked for a better way to recoup some points here by earning max points tonight with the pole, with the win, and with the fastest lap. And then, forcing Noah to use a different race as a drop race. Or actually, no, because of his Le Mans finish being so bad, he'll have to count these points tonight. So it's going to be a huge haul for us tonight, and maybe that defines the championship. Who knows? We'll see in a few weeks.
Well, either way, you put the Mustang back on top, and once again, Mustangs sweep the all three classes with the platinum, the gold, and the silver all going to Mustang. So, is there a track this season that the Mustang is not good at?
I'll give you a spoiler. I'll be shipping the blue oval back over the Atlantic to get to Sebring next week. So we already have that one locked in. But it's unless there's some kind of late season BOP change, I truly don't know. I truly don't think so, man. The car is so hooked up. I don't know what it is. The suspension's since it debuted, the suspension has always been great. It's been really compliant on curbs, really predictable. That's always been its pro. But now it drafts better than everything else. Now it's about a half step behind Aston on natural straight line speed, but it still drafts better than it. And I think the steering box makes a lot more intuitive sense than the Aston Martin. So I don't know. I look at Bathurst and I question that because of the elevation. Usually you want a turbocharged car at Bathurst. So my early prediction would probably be BMW there. But the Glen, in order to jump the bus stop, you're going to want to be in this thing. I think we go Interlagos. That's probably going to be that probably is going to be Mustang. And I think there's one more that I'm missing. Suzuka. Yeah. That one's going to be interesting because all of us that are going to run the 1,000Ks, maybe we'll be in different cars based on whatever the BOP is for that. But Suzuka at the high speed, lots of curb jumping. It kind of makes sense there too. So who's to say, man? But it certainly looks like a blue oval domination. Not just throughout our races, but you look at fixed. Even you look at core. I know I've seen a few different Mustang wins in your guys' league too. So it's fun. They're gonna nuke it next season, so I'm happy I could be in it now, but I'm sure we'll have to trade in the keys for season 15.
Well, you mentioned the Aston, and I brought it up to Jimmy during the broadcast as well. You've probably had more laps in it, certainly than me, and I'm sure even from Jimmy here. testing it out and kind of feeling it out. And has there been a car that's been released like the Aston that just does not get any love? I mean, we've seen when the Ferrari came out, it was huge. We've seen when the the Porsche came out, it was the car to be in. When the McLaren came out, same thing. But since the Aston came out, it's dead. I mean, you look at it here tonight. It's only 3 cars in the field. I mean, this track may not very well suit the Aston, but I mean, we've seen it all season. The Aston is just not popular at all.
No, it's not very popular. And, it's funny. I kind of forgot that car is turbocharged. That probably actually goes to the top of the list for Bathurst. But I honestly don't know if the Aston is so far off as much as the Mustang is so far on. It feels like the Aston could probably compete with AMG. BMW was a popular choice from Mexico about a month ago. So these cars, no. I mean, the Corvette's been dead, honestly, since they released it. So that might have a partial vote for dead car upon release, but other than that, that's the only one I could think of in my time focusing in GT3 that hasn't seen a lot of love. The Corvettes, I love the Corvette. I love Pratt and Miller in real life. They're probably who I pull for in GTD Pro, and it breaks my heart that I can't race their car because it's just toast in the sim right now. It doesn't even make sense.
Is sad.
Yeah, I think it's the reason it got more love than the Aston is obviously the American flair and the looks of it for the Corvette. But I'm shocked of how dead the Aston is, because I feel like it's been asked about for a long time. When are we getting the Aston GT3? When are we getting? And all of a sudden we get it, and it's like, okay, we got it. Now let's race a car that actually is good, which clearly right now is the Mustang, and you chose it here again, and it was the right choice, getting you the win here. Big points night for you, maybe even enough to get you right back into the points lead heading into Sebring next week. But we'll see. We'll tune in and we'll find out next week for that. Before we let you go here tonight, who do you want to give a shout out to or thanks to?
Yeah, thanks to you guys at Core. Truly the best of the best. I cherish our partnership highly as an individual and as an admin of this league. So thanks to you guys for what you do, Carl, Jimmy, everybody in the background. Tilford as well. I know he's a huge part of what you do, even if he doesn't get on air. So thanks to all you guys. Thanks to Digital Sim Sports, Martin PC, for always supporting me, being on the car. Everybody at TSS done really well. Shout out Bill Barrow for the win as well in silver. He's been really in comms with me a lot lately, looking to take some steps to better himself on track here, and I think it was showing in his independent work. But he's really put a really good foot forward this season with silver. So I think that's his second win on the season, third win in the last couple of months at least. So good for him. Happy to see a good guy succeed. And thanks to Bryce. I know Bryce couldn't be here tonight, but he's real fast at Hockenheim, so I hate that he couldn't be here, but he's always supportive of what we're involved in here too. Mom, Dad, Aunt Sandy, Anna, Chris, Uncle Lee, thanks for watching, tuning in, and sharing with all your loved ones as well. And all the viewers out there alike. We'll head to Sebring and we'll see. Will I crash turn 1, lap 1 3 straight times, or will I limit it at 2?
Ask Chris what you're allowed to do through turn 1. Okay. I guess
sounds good. Perfect. Looking forward to it.
Yes.
All right, buddy. Well, we'll let you go celebrate. We'll see you as Sebring one way or another, at least for one turn. But celebrate this one, and we'll catch you later.
Yeah, roger that, boys. Cheers.
That is your winner here overall and in the Platinum Division, the 88 of Craig Jancic. Last one we're going to get in here, Jimmy. We talked about him during the broadcast that he's kind of been a little quiet, little down this season here in the Platinum, but not so much here for the Chris Burrell Hard Charger Sandbagger Award, as the 22 of Tyler Toivola going to take it home tonight.
Tyler, Jimmy and Carlton, boot you copy.
Hey guys, I miss talking to you guys.
You figured out a way to make it up here in the booth, starting from the rear and coming to the front.
Listen, after 5 races, I was like, listen, I miss talking to them guys. It was kind of a mixture of missing talking to you guys, and then I had a lot of stuff going on off the sim, so it made me a little late. Got no practice in. I think during qualifying, I think I got like maybe 1 or maybe 2 timed laps in, but I got off tracks on both of them, so they didn't count. So I was like, well, screw it. I guess I'm starting from the back.
Yeah, I mean, at least you had obviously we know life is busy. You had enough time to get at least registered so you can actually get out here and race here tonight. So it's obviously a challenge to come up through the field, or I call it the battlefield, just because, obviously if you have a fast driver like yourself, you have to make your way through maybe somebody that's having a good race, somebody that's having a bad race. It's back in the mix. I call it the battlefield, but you had to make your way through there. You make it up to the top 10. You did make up 19 spots from the start. So I think overall it's almost as good as getting a win here, considering you have so much great competition out there on track. So we wanted to recognize that here. Obviously, say congratulations on the amount of places that you've gained here tonight, and give you some recognition and some time for any shouts they might have on that number 22.
Yeah, appreciate it, guys. Be lying if I'd said that it wasn't fun. All right, it wasn't not fun. I worded that terribly. It was fun. Let's just put it that way. Start from the back. So I may do it again, depending on what tracks are coming up. So I may get to talk to you guys again. I don't know,
Sebring,
but it was
Bathurst,
fun.
Just to name a few.
I don't think I'll do it at Sebring. I won't do it at Interlagos. Maybe Suzuka. Maybe, because I'm not a big fan of that track, but we'll see. But yeah, it was fun.
For the sake of your sanity, don't do it at Bathurst.
I only that's 2 hours to get through the field, so
that's true.
I wouldn't be surprised some people start out of the pits as well as Bathurst can go, especially down turn 1.
Yeah, you're probably not wrong there. Yeah, but yeah, it was fun. I'm glad I got to come up here and talk to you guys again. But I want to say thanks to you guys, everybody here at CSRL, my wife, my daughter, my whole family, everyone at Ace Motorsports. Thanks, guys.
Yeah, anytime, man. I appreciate the shout outs. And again, congratulations. And we'll let you go celebrate with your friends and family.
Cool. Thanks, guys. Have a good
Yes,
night.
Sir.
Is driver of the 22, Tyler Torville, the Chris Burrell Hard Charger Sandbagger Award winner here tonight. That is going to do it for myself and Jimmy, not just for tonight, but for the week, as we got no doubleheader. Pit Road Speed Limit is going to be starting up next month, so they are not part of the doubleheader here tonight. On Thursday, both the Virtual Velocity Racing League and the Core GT Series are off this week, so an early happy Halloween to everyone out there. Certainly happy Halloween to you, Jimmy. I know it's your favorite holiday of the season, of the year. But it's going to be a little bit of a break here until we head back on Sunday night. So hopefully you're not in a candy coma by Sunday night.
I put kids in candy coma. I hand that stuff out. Keep them all wild up for the parents to take care of. Yeah, it's Halloween is a non-race day here at the Covert household, so it doesn't matter what's going on. It could be a 24-hour special event. It's a non-race day. It's one of those days that I don't have the option because of just the amount of time that we put into the yard and to kind of support the community and the little neighborhood that we get to. And there's typically right around 1,000 kids that show up to this house. Anywhere between 750 to 1,000 kids usually show up every year. So we're going to keep that rolling here as long as I can, as long as my body can keep putting things out or fixing up the yard for the kids. And then when I can't, then I'll just set up an animatronic and a table and still hand out candy. So either way, we're going to have fun then, and appreciate that, Carl. And hopefully everybody else has a great holiday weekend as well.
Yeah, certainly looking forward to seeing the Covert household pictures, which we typically see every year. So keep an eye on the Discords out there and near your favorite Discords. I'm sure Jimmy will post the pictures once you get everything set up, because no stone unturned. He may not have the the dazzling light shows that you see on TikTok and everything like that, but he doesn't do it light. Let's just put it that way. So keep an eye on your favorite Discords here to see what the Covert household looks like this year. But we got a pretty interesting look at what the point standings are going to look like for the second half of the season. And it's going to be tight here in the Platinum for sure with Jancic getting a good finish here tonight, nor Bourgeois not so much. So can't really slip up for either of them for the second half of the season. 6 rounds down, 5 more to go, including the double points to our finale at Bathurst. But for myself and Jimmy here from the CSRL booth in Hockenheim, we'll see you at the track.
Peace.